So what's gonna happen over here is that the first item that you actually do is that you start doing sort. And the reason why you do sort is so that like later on when you plant the maybe the I over here and shift over here, that the moment it sees that like the maybe say you reach until this the I plus 1 to be a different value from I, that's when you know that okay I can plant that new value in, because the thing is this, that is the one group over here is that you have the duplicate value, the other is that you don't really want that value to be in, so that's why the I plus 1. So obviously you see here there is either you have the duplicate value or you don't have the duplicate value. So if you have the duplicate value, you see it can be planted here, it can happen like the first time for the duplicate to be occurring, or the second time for it to be occurring. And obviously if you got 3 of those ones, you can proceed to have like a third or fourth if needed to. But the main point is this, that one side is having like the duplicate value, the other it doesn't have it. So that's the main idea that drives across. So, and that's pretty much the formula for as such. And like, so now back to the question is that we are provided with this in array, and we're supposed to use a branching method to make sure that we find a lot of like those values that eventually hits our target value, and in this case is this 8 value. So what's gonna happen, I mean here is like either you have the 1 or you have an empty, and obviously this one it falls under no duplicate, and here there is the duplicate item, and it's either you get 1 or you get the empty, and then like you're supposed to get the value into 8, right? So they kind of skip most of the steps, but eventually you find that like given a 6, it allows you to get the 8, and for the 1 over here eventually like it does go through 2, 5, 6, 7, 10, but they skip everything and they say that because eventually it's only the 6, this combination thus leads you to getting the 8 value. And similar for this, like this they go to the 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and eventually it hit the 7 and does get the value, so we kind of circle it. That means that we get the value and go through 1, 2, 5, 6, and eventually it goes through 2, it goes through 5, and it gets its value as well. And in the no duplicate slot, go through 2, 5, 6, 7, and obviously it has removed like the front values. It's only left with like 2, 5, 6, 7, 10. It doesn't include the ones at all, the duplicates at all, and eventually they shorten it to be 2, 6. There you have it, to hit like the target 8. And the idea of always removing your previous value is using the operation z, where it echoes forward. So it's gonna destroy away all the elements that's like on the previous side of things, and that's what it fundamentally it's doing for the most part. And another item to actually take note is that this question is talking about combination, and it doesn't means that it's permutation, because permutation will mean that maybe say I have like a 1 6 1, it will still be considered to be the same as this, and we don't want this sort of like duplicate. Therefore, the list that we are actually for the spell casting is a lot to do with like unique values combination. And when you talk about like unique value combinations, it's to it's got to do with a lot with like combination, and not the and it's not gonna be like the n factorial or 2 power of n. I think it's not to do with n factorial, yeah, because I think permutation, when it comes down to permutation, is using this formula is either this or 2 power of n. Kind of I forgot which is which. But I mean, for the Leetcode question, like the rulebook is also asking for maybe say like we want like the unit list, and the first idea that we have is using this combination thing, and the character that we are setting up for is very much to do with backtracking. And it falls under the category of a combination list. And for this combination list, it obviously have this z operation where there's this echo z operation where it has this echo forward effect. And you also do cast a spell of like sorting. The reason why you need to do the sorting is so much so that you can actually segregate between having this duplicate side of things and a non-duplicate side of things. It's the spell that we cast. And the rulebook from the Leetcode. And obviously we will have like this brute force to actually fight against the main character, right? So for like brute force wise, how it's actually gonna like actually argue back is that it can, from the in array, it travels down, right? So so if you were to say that it's like a brute force, sort of item that equal 1 and an empty, it will keep on creating another, like maybe say from here it's not gonna create another this to be having a 1, and what you find is that in this operation G is that you're gonna find yourself with another set of, like say, a duplicate, because at the end of the day we want operation N that identifies that, oh, there's this group, wherever this group belongs, is that it won't have 1 anymore. Only here it belongs to having 1. So you have like a 1 duplicate over here, the first one over here, the second one over here, and here not supposed to have. But if you brute force G, it doesn't know about like identifying of like the duplicate, and it will have like another 1 over here, which is not what we want. We want operation N that identify this whole entire list to not have any of those duplicate ones. And to me, at least, that whatever this spell is actually casting is that it's just segregating the duplicate and the non-duplicate, right? The duplicate and the non-duplicate is, I think, to me, it's quite an advanced spell, in my opinion at least. And yep, with that, everything comes to an end.